Ever pondered why some individuals constantly seek admiration? Well, it's more than just a craving for compliments. Welcome to the fascinating world of the need for admiration in narcissism. This is not a simple desire for a pat on the back or a compliment on a job well done. No, it's a persistent, all-consuming craving for affirmation, recognition, or attention from others. It's as if the air they breathe is laced with the praise and validation of those around them. But here's the twist. It's not about basking in the glow of compliments for the sake of enjoyment. Instead, it's a fundamental part of how they maintain their self-image, a critical pillar supporting their self-esteem and self-worth. So what does this incessant craving look like in action? Let's delve deeper. From fishing for compliments to an excessive concern with appearance or achievements, the signs are there, if you know where to look. To start with, one of the most telling signs of a need for admiration is a pattern of fishing for compliments. Individuals with this need might often steer conversations or situations towards themselves, creating opportunities to receive praise or affirmation. They might share their achievements, no matter how big or small, in a bid to receive applause, or subtly put themselves down, hoping others will rush in to contradict them. Another key indicator is an intense focus on appearance or achievements. The desire to look perfect or be the best at something often becomes a priority for these individuals. They might spend excessive amounts of time on their looks, or even exaggerate or lie about their accomplishments to appear more successful than they are. Perhaps the most telling sign, however, is sensitivity to criticism. Even mild feedback can be perceived as a personal attack, resulting in defensive or aggressive reactions. They might react strongly to criticism, deflecting blame or lashing out as they struggle to reconcile the critique with their inflated self-perception. Remember, these behaviors are not simply quirks, but rather they point to a deeper issue. They hint at a deep-seated sense of insecurity and a reliance on external validation to feel worthy or successful. Behind these behaviors lies a deep-seated psychology that fuels this need for constant admiration. It may surprise you to learn that beneath the outward confidence there is a significant reliance on external validation. The need for admiration, so prominent in narcissistic behavior, isn't as simple as a desire for compliments. It's a deep-seated yearning, a persistent thirst for affirmation that stems from a place of insecurity and low self-esteem. Imagine this. Despite a glossy veneer of self-assurance, there's an internal discord, a cognitive dissonance. There is an inner critic, constantly questioning one's worth, perpetually doubting one's value. This is where the need for external validation comes into play. It acts as a salve, a balm to soothe the persistent sting of self-doubt. This incessant craving for admiration is a way to fill an emotional void. The praise and recognition from others serve as a mirror, reflecting an image of worth and success that the individual longs to see in themselves. It's not just about feeding the ego, it's a mechanism to maintain their self-image, to keep the inner critic at bay. However, this reliance on external validation is like building a castle on sand. It's unstable, it's fleeting, and it's dependent on the tide of public opinion. It's a shaky foundation for self-worth, one that can lead to a host of problems down the line. The ramifications of this need extend beyond the individual, impacting both personal and professional relationships. It's a complex issue that requires understanding, careful management, and in some cases, professional treatment. Imagine being in a relationship where the other person's focus is predominantly on themselves. Sounds challenging, right? This is the reality when dealing with individuals who have a high need for admiration. Their constant craving for affirmation can strain relationships, both personal and professional. In personal relationships, their incessant need for validation can lead to behaviors that are perceived as self-centered or overly demanding. A constant focus on themselves might manifest as a lack of genuine interest or empathy for the other person's experiences. This can erode the foundations of trust and mutual understanding that healthy relationships are built on. At the same time, this trait can have significant implications in the workplace. Individuals with a high need for admiration can become competitive, constantly seeking attention or recognition. This can lead to scenarios where they take credit for others' work or engage in self-promotion at the expense of teamwork. Such behavior can disrupt the harmony and collaborative spirit in a working environment, potentially undermining the productivity and morale of the entire team. So the need for admiration, while it may seem harmless or even charming at first, can have profound effects on various facets of life. It can disrupt personal relationships and create a tense atmosphere in professional settings. If you find yourself dealing with such individuals frequently, it's crucial to know how to cope. But remember, understanding is the first key to dealing with any situation effectively. Scene script. Dealing with individuals displaying this need can be challenging, but setting boundaries and clear communication can make it manageable. Now, let's talk about coping mechanisms. When interacting with individuals who have a strong need for admiration, it's crucial to establish clear boundaries. This means not feeding into their excessive need for praise continuously. It's also important to engage in honest communication. If their behavior becomes too demanding, don't hesitate to express your concerns in a respectful and straightforward manner. Remember, it's not about criticizing them, it's about promoting a healthy interaction. Not taking their behavior personally can also be a significant help. It's essential to understand that their need for constant recognition is not a reflection of your worth, but rather their own struggle with self-esteem. In terms of treatment options, psychotherapy can be highly effective. This form of therapy can address the underlying issues of self-esteem, assisting individuals to develop a healthier self-image. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is another great tool. It helps individuals recognize and change thought patterns that contribute to their need for constant admiration. In essence, these therapies aim to shift the focus from external validation to internal self-worth. So while the need for admiration can be a challenging trait to deal with, it's not insurmountable. With the right coping mechanisms and treatment options, it can be managed effectively. Understanding the need for admiration in narcissistic behavior is the first step towards managing it effectively. To wrap up, the need for admiration goes beyond just enjoying compliments. It's a complex issue rooted in self-esteem problems and a reliance on external validation. This trait significantly impacts personal and professional relationships and requires careful management and, in some cases, professional treatment.